Hey everybody, in this video we're going to be taking a look at Stephen King's 1999 novel, The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon. We'll be showing you what to look for when trying to identify first US and first UK trade editions of the novel, as well as providing some thoughts on the work itself. The first US edition of The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon was published by Scribner, and the first thing I noticed when I saw this book in real life was it's small. It's got a smaller trim size. It's slim. In some may call this a novella. It could be a matter of marketing. I think there is a strict word delineation, a number of words that separates novellas, novelettes, novels, whatever. But this one was released standalone, The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon. And it is a small book, and as such it has a much reduced list price. In this case it's $16.95. So Hearts in Atlantis and Bag of Bones were $28. Girl is $16.95. On the copyright page, once again, look for a number line that includes the number 1. Pretty easy peasy. Underneath the jacket, for gray boards, it's an image of a bug embossed and printed in gold foil on the cover. It's black on the spine and gold lettering. So that is the first US trade hardcover edition of The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon. And I'm going to pass it over to Noah to show the first UK edition.
Okay, and now we're going to take a look at the first UK trade hardcover edition of The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon. This book was published in 1999 by Hodder and Stoughton in the UK, King's UK publisher. This one has a pretty hideously ugly green jacket with kind of minimalist artwork on the front, pretty ugly. Not a big fan of this edition. The first printing will have a printed price of $12.99 UK on the jacket. And the copyright page will have a number line that goes down to 1 to indicate a first printing. The back of the book has King playing baseball, or at least pointing at a baseball in the sky, and that is the book. Like Bag of Bones, I don't have too much to say about this edition. It's a pretty standard trade edition. So there's the UK Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon.
So in 1999, I was 16 years old, and I was already an avowed, devout Stephen King fan, and I read this book the year that it came out, and I have to admit, so I was a hip and cool 16-year-old, or at least in my head. So I was actually kind of a chubby outcast living in rural southwest Missouri when I was 16 years old, but I considered myself to be hip and cool, as all 16-year-olds do. And I saw this book, and the first thing I noticed was that it's small, and that's fine. And then I read the blurb, and I realized, oh, it's about a 9-year-old girl that gets lost in the woods. It didn't seem particularly hip. It wasn't the type of scenario that got me all excited as a 16-year-old who was interested in thrills and chills. But I did still read it. I gave it a shot, and I read it when it first came out, and well, I found it to be, it's modest in scale, it's modest in scope. I found it to be a gripping, unusual, and unique story in the Stephen King universe, and that is always a welcome thing. It's a bit of a love story to baseball, which I found to be really touching, and it does provide its fair share of thrills and chills. The things that I was just sure as a 16-year-old that no book about a 9-year-old girl being lost in the woods is going to be scary, but It is scary. And even as a teenager, I could recognize that it taps into this sort of more universal fear that we all have, of being alone, of being lost, of being just stuck in an environment where we're not cut out to make it. We're not equipped to have the tools to survive on our own, but yet we must try to survive. And it kind of taps into a more basic and universal fear. And it really resonated with me as a teenager, and I haven't read it since 1999, but I still remember that feeling that I got as a teenager. And just it, you no matter how old you are, I think if you read this book, it brings you back to that place where you're a kid and you're dependent upon other people, making decisions and taking you places and just directing the day to day of your life. And then when all of that is ripped away and you're left to your own devices, as a kid, it's a really scary thing. And as an adult, it is not hard for me to get back to remember what that fear felt like. And The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon, I think, does a good job of tapping into that. It's not classic Stephen King. There's definitely nothing wrong with it, but it doesn't rate, it's not like top tier, but it's fine. And he's written a few books over the years that I think would be comfortably considered YA, or maybe even suitable for younger audiences. And Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon, I remember, it's basically one character, and it's a little kid, and she's lost in the woods, so she's not having particularly adult, like, the way she views the world, the way she thinks about things, and her experiences are those of a little kid. And I found it to be, I think I was 16. I think I remember recommending it to my sister, who would have been 12 at the time, and she may have read it. I don't remember. But I think as far as an entryway to the Stephen King universe, for a young, adventurous reader, Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon might be a good place to start. But anyway, thank you very much for your time. Thanks to Noah for showing a first edition book that I don't have in my own collection. Thanks to you, the viewers, for watching and for your support. I really, really appreciate it. And wherever you are, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will talk to you later. Bye.